Good morning, I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day. I've picked up a few new records over the last month on account of it being Christmas and just irresponsibly buying records myself, so I thought I would do another vinyl haul video for you this week. And just before I get into it, my own record, Her, is available for pre-order on Sky Blue, limited edition 12-inch heavyweight vinyl. So if you wanted to listen to some mediocre neoclassical electronic post-rock music, then pre-order yourself one of them. There'll be a link in the description down there. Thank you so much to those of you who have already pre-ordered yourself a copy. There's also a link in the description to the Spotify and iTunes and all of that for the EP if you just wanted to stream it as well. So let's get on with the vinyl haul. The first record, if you follow me on Instagram, you will have already seen it, and that is Nils Fraham's latest release, All Melody. Bought this in Spillers Records the other day in Cardiff. It's such a good record shop, Spillers. If you haven't been there before, you should. I think it's the oldest record shop in the world. But yeah, I saw this on one of the shelves in there and immediately bought it. I've been wanting to get a copy since it came out. I'm a huge fan of Nils Fraham's work, and the track on here, number 2, was actually one of my top 10 tracks of 2018. I absolutely love it. And this is a beautiful vinyl release. It's a kind of reverse board, really matte finish print on the outside, and then this image is actually a little bit three-dimensional because it's separate to the cover. It's not printed on top of it. It's actually stuck down right in the middle, and it adds just an extra layer of texture to the outer sleeve, which is lovely. Track list on the back, and this is a double 180 gram pressing. It's on black vinyl, which I find is pretty common for erased tapes. The label that this is released under, they nearly always only ever press on plain black vinyl, which supposedly gives the highest possible audio quality to the records. I know that my Kiasmos and Olaf Arnolds and Peter Broderick records are all pressed on black vinyl as well, so it would make sense. A lot of effort went into mastering this specifically for vinyl, and there are notes in the inner booklet that say that a lot of the original dynamic range was preserved exclusively for that, because something I know a little bit more about now in terms of mastering for vinyl is that you should really have a lot more headroom. It should be a lot quieter so that dynamics can be preserved, and I think that that was something that was really important on this. I could go into loads of detail about just this record alone because it's amazing, but you can look that up yourself. But yeah, it sounds really good. It's not a gatefold, which would have been nice considering it's a double LP, but it does have this really nice information booklet in here. It's not really an information booklet, it's kind of stories and images about how the album was created. And again, it's always the case with erased tape stuff, but the quality of the production of this record is just so good. Just like the paper that they used to print this booklet in feels really nice and heavy and, you know, premium. It's just really nice to get things like this when you buy a record, especially when they're of this good a quality. So that's record number 1. Record number 2 on this list is a total contrast with regards to its musical content, and that is Blink-182's Enema of the State. As far as I'm aware, this wasn't ever released on vinyl originally. This must be something that they've repressed in recent years because of the resurgence, but I saw this in HMV and it was like $12.99, and there was no way that I wasn't going to get it. Now, I don't listen to Blink very often, but I do love their music, especially this album, and the kind of the older generation original Blink-182 stuff I just love, and it always just reminds me of when I was like 12, 13, stealing my brother's CDs to listen to. It's just such a ridiculous, outrageous, and obnoxious record. I couldn't resist but buying it. Nothing particularly special about this pressing, it's just heavyweight black vinyl, but it's Blink-182. I mean, I don't think there's any necessity for them to have some sort of super fancy coloured vinyl release of this album. So yeah, Blink-182 Enema of the State is record number 2 in this haul. The third record, which I'm sure will be a surprise to no one, is the latest 1975 record, A Brief Inquiry into Online Relationships. I love this record, I love the 1975, as you know. I've got pretty much everything else of theirs in my collection. One thing I will say, and I'm not sure how this will be received by other 1975 fans, but I don't think, at the moment anyway, that this is as good as their previous record. I think this is great and I love it, but there are just things that I love a bit more about I Like It When You Sleep. I think there's more consistency to their previous release. Certainly this has tracks that I do skip, and I'm not just talking about The Man Who Married a Robot. Anyway, fantastic pressing as you might expect. Gatefold, 180 gram double LP. My girlfriend got me this for Christmas, and she actually got me the version that is yellow, which I think is really cool. So there are 2 bright yellow discs in here, which complements the artwork and the general style and aesthetic of this album really well. So yeah, that's record number 3, the 1975 A Brief Inquiry into Online Relationships. Next record on this list, which is probably one of my favorite purchases for the last year, is the score for an amazing film called The Endless, with music by The Album Leaf. Now, if you haven't seen The Endless, then go on Netflix and watch it immediately, because it is a brilliant film. I can't remember being as sort of engrossed and enchanted by a film as I was by The Endless. And the music for it by The Album Leaf was done so well. As I'm sure you know, I've been a fan of instrumental, ambient-y, electronic music for years and years, and The Album Leaf is one of my favourite artists in that category. I don't mention The Album Leaf very often, but Jimmy Laval, I think is how you pronounce it, who is the man behind The Album Leaf, did the music for this film, and it works so well with the story. It's the perfect blending of being like soft and intimate and then really like scary and tension building, and it's just a fantastic score and just the kind of music I like. As soon as the credits started to roll, I can remember thinking, I know that I'm gonna buy this score on vinyl, and then I saw it was by The Album Leaf and I was like, I'm definitely buying this on vinyl. I had to get this shipped in from the States, which took a little longer than I'm used to waiting for a record, but it was worth it. And it is a wonderful gatefold record with a little bit of a sort of plot synopsis and information about the film there. And just wait till you see the colour of this record. Now, I don't buy records because they're colourful, but if I get a record and it is really colourful, then it's kind of a bonus, and this is beautiful. Isn't that just so gorgeous? A kind of black, white and blue swirly marbled effect. And when this is spinning, it just looks so nice. Fantastic score for a fantastic film. So that's the penultimate record on the list, The Album Leaf's score to The Endless. The final record of this vinyl haul is one that, again, was bought for me for Christmas. I hadn't really listened to the band before. It was a recommendation, and it's a pretty good recommendation. It's Wiped Out by The Neighbourhood. Now, this is a band that I was really surprised I hadn't heard about or heard of before, because they've got quite a lot of music out and a lot of it is in a style that I'm quite partial to, but I just never heard of them. And now I have this on vinyl and it is a fantastic album, and it's a nice pressing as well. Double heavyweight gatefold LP, which is what we all like. The records themselves are black, which fits the aesthetic of the album artwork quite well, although with the artwork being as black and white as it is, I feel like it could have been quite cool to just have super brightly coloured, obnoxious records to accompany it, but either way, it's fine. So yeah, 2 of those for this record. So there we go, that concludes this vinyl haul video, and I'm sure it won't be too long before I'm doing another one of these. Let me know if you've picked up any cool records recently, or if you've listened to any of the ones that I've just spoken about. Did you love them, hate them? Do you agree with me, disagree with me? Let me know all of that down in the comment section there. Thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you've enjoyed this. Like I said, Her is available for vinyl pre-order, so links in the description there, as well as links to the Spotify and iTunes to stream it, and links to my Instagram as well. So thank you so much. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you very soon.